Duty to Country tells the history of Filipinos' sacrifice and patriotism during World War II and their decades-long quest for recognition and justice after the war.
I think that oftentimes you get written out of history when you're not the one doing the writing.
World War II happened in many other places, and my grandma was one of those people who experienced that, and why have I never heard anything about the Philippines during the war?
No one talks about the Filipinos who were there, much less the fact that we took away their service afterwards. It's sort of a second-class kind of narrative about World War II.
If they rob you of your honor and betray you on the promise that was made to you, they don't pay you and then they discount you. That's hard. You know, it's tantamount to being non-existent.
The Duty to Country Education Project is dedicated to sharing the untold story of two nations, the United States and the Philippines, fighting under one flag. This ongoing project includes hours of oral history testimonies, a dynamic online exhibition, and profiles of key historical figures. Under One Flag begins with the colonial period, setting the stage and providing critical context. It recounts the stories of World War II in depth, from generals and privates to guerrillas and civilians, along with telling the larger story of the war in the Philippines through words, photographs, and documentary footage. It brings to life oral history testimonies through dynamic motion comics. The post-World War II era reveals the U.S. government rescinding its commitment to those who fought in the Philippines under our flag. The story continues through the contemporary period. For decades, Filipino Americans, veterans, and others have fought tirelessly all the way to the Supreme Court and into the halls of Congress for recognition, veterans' benefits, and rights of citizenship that had been denied to them. The Duty to Country Education Project features several hours of oral histories, first-hand accounts of living veterans, historians, and community advocates.
Why were Filipinos singled out? Among the 66 nations that were part of the Allied forces, Filipinos were singled out to be deprived of their rightful benefits. Why?
I thought it will be easy to get their benefit, but I found out as a USAPI veteran, you are a second-rate citizen.
Duty to Country aims to recognize these men and women for their service and to prompt all Americans to recognize these events as part of our shared history. And it seeks to empower a new generation of young people to reflect on what we owe our country and how we can ensure America fulfills its promises in the future.
I think most people, by and large, assume that we live in a country where a government does right by our people. Yet, when we uncover the story, it's a story that we need to remember so that we can remain vigilant.
That story is not going to be told unless we do this education project. And we committed ourselves to making sure that that story also becomes enshrined in American history, much like the Navajo Code Talkers, much like the Japanese American Nisei soldiers, much like the African Americans who fought during the Civil War, because this story is part of American history.